went to church, you know, she taught me that, you're not going to church to praise man. You're not going to church to praise the pastor. You're not going to church to praise the women in there. You're going strictly to praise God. And if you stay focused on that, you're going to be let down in the church as well. You ain't going to no church and the people in there are perfect and they don't have their own issues.
That's why they're in the church.
That's why they're there. So every time she tell me something, it just makes so much damn sense. And I don't sometimes want her to make the sense, but she make the sense. So I have to go with what makes sense. So she's right, and I have to focus on that.
At 8 or 9 years of age, you talk in the book about how exposed you were to sex. You saw it. There were adults who should not have been, but were coming on to you even when you were a child. What did that do to you to be exposed to sex at that early age?
Well, like anything else when you're a child, whatever you're taught, it goes with you. From how to eat cereal with a spoon and a bowl with milk, to walking, because you're a child. We're talking 8, 7. Those, to me, now that I have kids, are the time where you're wide open and you're going to learn the curse words that you hear, and every now and then you're going to say them. You might even pick up a cigarette here and there, and you may try to light it and burn yourself for the first time. If there's a gun in the house, you might pick up a gun if they leave it around, or you looking and they don't even realize you looking and seeing where they put it at. When you're a child, you don't really know. You only see, and you learn, and you try to figure it out. It enhances your curiosity. It enhances your, before it's time. You're not supposed to be curious about a gun right now and how it works, because you're not supposed to see it now. You're not supposed to be curious about sex, because you're not supposed to see sex right now. You're supposed to be curious about the bowl, the spoon, the cereal, the milk. I'm not going to throw any of my people, my family, under a bus, but I feel I owe my fans at least enough for them to have an understanding of what I went through. And yes, I was molested when I was from 7 on to maybe 13, 14 or something like that, by people in my family. So, I really think it's a generational curse, because it goes on in the black community, I believe. Because as I grew up, I would ask a whole lot of people that I had met, have they ever been, and they would say, yeah, as a matter of fact, I have, yeah. Some can remember, some can't remember quite detail-wise, but I remember. Sexually, it woke up my hormones a lot earlier than they were supposed to be awakened. It woke up my curiosity a lot earlier than it was supposed to be awakened. And I know that I became sexual at an early age because of that.
I want to jump ahead because the 7-year turmoil that you went through vis-a-vis the trial for child pornography, your advisors, almost to a person, told you over and over and over again, while you're going through this period, Kels, do not put out sexually explicit material. Do not. The audience can't handle that. Your fans can't handle it. It's not going to be good for the outcome of this trial. Tone it down. Don't put that out. You ignore all of them. Do it anyway and get bold with it. It's during this period you put out Chocolate Factory. You put out Remix. You put out Ignition. Here they're telling you not to do this, and you put out a song about putting your key in the ignition. I read that and I wanted to ask, so I will. why it is that you went against your advisors. What is it that you were thinking, that you were feeling, that kept you doing that when everybody else told you not to do that?
Well, first of all, let me say, you know, I wasn't bold about it, you know, and I didn't totally ignore them, because that would be the worst thing to do, is totally ignore your advisors or your lawyers. I listened to them, we talked, we discussed the situation. I felt strong, very strong, as I said many years ago about the trial, that I will have my day in court, you know, and I will be innocent, and I will walk away, and I will move on with my life. I said that in the beginning. I said that during the middle part of the trial and everything else. I look at my music like a soldier looks at his sword. You never put your sword down in the midst of a war. You never lay down in the midst of a war. And I think that my lawyers were good lawyers, great lawyers, but I didn't think they had that part down. And you have to be the soldier in the midst of the war to even understand that. And I was the soldier on the front line for my life, for my kids' life, for my fans. And I told them I would not lay down. I would not stop doing music. Why would I do that? I think that would say, oh yeah, he did it. I think that would say all of the things that people want to say about R. Kelly. So I did what I'm supposed to do. Like any fireman that goes up in the building, they don't get to the building and say, oh, wait a minute, that's just too much fire. But you're a fireman. So go and fight the fire. Don't care how much it is. I had to go and I had to do my music. I'm not going to change my lyric. I'm not going to change my name. I'm not going to do any of that. I'm going to do my music. And that's what I did. And that's what I told the company, even though they continued to say, no, don't do it. But the minute Ignition came out, which was the first song I did, it blew up. And all of a sudden, the company's calling me. Everybody's calling me, come do an album cover shoot. We got to get the rest of this album done. We got to go there. We got to bring your clothes. We're going to have a, well, I ain't got no doggone makeup person. Yeah. You got some makeup? Bring your own makeup. We'll do it. I mean, it just got crazy. So I did what I felt was right for myself. The rules are, the women come in, the guys come in to see the performer, okay? You get out there, you perform, you do your thing, you entertain the people, you talking to the people, but when you go, temperatures rising, and you got bras coming off, panties coming off, was that a part of it? Who ordered this? I mean, you know, who said that that's part of the rule? That's nothing I said, dude. You never heard me say, all right, take your panties off. Yeah. This section, take your bras off. You know, and it's like, how do you do R&B? How do you do these songs? How do you sing these sexual songs that, you know, people can go and listen and make babies to and be married to and not have all of these women come at you, all of this stuff come at you. You know, it comes at you. It comes with that whole territory.
There's so many parts of the book that are just absolutely arresting. You and David Rich do such a good job bringing your life to life that you can feel like you're in the room with Kells at certain moments. When you walk into that room and your mother is dying of cancer in the hospital, I felt like I was next to your mom, Joanne Kelly, in that bed. And there's another part of the book that I felt the same way. The way you describe what it felt like when Michael Jackson walked into the chocolate factory to do You Are Not Alone. What did that moment mean to you when he is coming to you to record a song? Yeah. Michael Jackson, he did something to you when he came in here.
Yeah, he did something to us all. I mean, you know, but to meet him in person is, it's definitely for someone like me who followed him all my life, and then I happen to be musical. I used to think Michael Jackson was a cartoon. I used to think that he didn't really exist. He didn't, you know, he didn't eat. He didn't, you know, he's just a cartoon. And that's what I thought up until the day I actually laid eyes on him person to person, man to man, right there. He gets up, I'm in the studio, I'm sitting there, I'm like, okay, Rob, stay calm, I'm doing my whole producer swag. He comes in, my chair stops, okay. He comes in with the whole mask, he looks around the place. And I promise you, he came right up to me and he hugged me so tight. Like this, like, and it was more than about the song. Mm-hmm. It was more than about you are not alone. It wasn't about you are not alone when he hugged me. He hugged me with such a humility and a mutual respect for the gift. That's what the hug was about. It wasn't about you are not alone. And I knew that. Why? Because I've been blessed with a gift as well. And when you're blessed with a gift, and it goes to so much, so it goes to, I don't want to say this to sound like I am Michael, but when you have a gift, and someone else has a gift, and it's rare, and those two entities, those two powers meet in one room, there's going to be some kind of spiritual, mutual, powerful respect.
Absolutely.
And when he hugged me and embraced me, it was for like 4 to 5 seconds. And for Michael and me to hug, 2 men then hug for 5 seconds, that's a long time. So and it was a real mama hug. It wasn't a fame or artist or celebrity hug. It was a mama hug, well, not a father hug. It was a mama hug. I knew this was going to make history. I knew this was going to be great. I knew the humility, he brought the humility with him. He didn't bring Michael Jackson in the room. You know, he brought innocence, he brought the humility, and it was powerful, man. And then I had to go in the bathroom. I fell out. I had to pull myself together because I got things that I got to get together in myself because I just met Michael. That's the celebrity part.
Right.
That's the Michael Jackson I never met, thought was a cartoon part, you know. So once I got myself together, I came out, got in the studio with him. We, I offered him some Chinese food, and it was amazing because people across the street in the other hotels hanging all out the window, and I'm like, who told them Michael Jackson would be here, But Michael Cole with it, boy. He probably sent some people ahead. I want everyone to know that I am going to be there. I mean, everybody was hanging out the hotel room. It was ridiculous, man.
You say in the book, I want to move on because some other artists. You say in the book, right quick though, that the thing that meant the most to you that day, beyond the hug, is when Michael said to you, in answer to your question, what he thought of the song, did he want to change anything? He said to you, you got me perfectly. Yeah. I don't need to change anything about the song.
Yeah, he said, it's so funny. You sound just like me. I don't need to change anything. I'm going to do it just like this. Just like this. I was like, wow. I was like, okay. Because I did. I put a lot of time into, I had all of his music, posters, everything up. I had Moonwalker playing on the video screen, and I would just go for the song. As I look at Mike, I would sing what I thought he would sing. I was just mimicking what I thought he would say on the lyrics and everything. And then when he asked me, is there any way that you can come in here and sing the backgrounds with me? I was like, sure, yeah. Of course. Why? Yeah, I'll be in there in a minute, And I walked out and I got between the wall that he couldn't see, and I was like, God, damn, I'm finna mess up. I thought I was gonna go in there just like a little girl, man, and just mess it up. But we standing there, and you are not alone. I am here with you. And all I gotta do, really, I'm telling myself, sing what you sang on the demo, you idiot. And you can't go wrong because you sounding like Michael on it anyway. So I'm doing that. He's here, right here, at the same mic. We both got on headphones, and I'm going, you are not alone. He'll look over at me. I'll be like, I am here with you. Though you're far away, I am here to stay. You are not alone. And I got that little shake in his voice. Yeah. Man, I was just blown away. I'm standing here singing with Michael Jackson right here. I'm right here. I started to grab his hand, but I ain't want to do that. Yeah. I ain't want to do that. This ain't We Are the World. This is, you are not alone. Don't do it. So I started to grab his hand and just for good measure, you know, but I ain't do that. But it was a great time working with Michael, man.